Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the FadeAway Podcast. My name is Gavin, and of course, I'm joined here with my buddy Tate.
How's it going, y'all?
All right, and today we're going to be talking about a very controversial subject. We're going to be talking about the misconceptions about NBA Superteams and why every single person is wrong about them.
You're calling out every single person?
Even people who agree with me. No. But before we start, we want to shout out once again Smoky Mountain Axe House for sponsoring this video. This is the third time now that they've sponsored us, so we're really appreciative about what they have done for us and sponsoring all these videos. Our very first sponsor. So if you'd like to get any information about who they are, what they're about, you can go to smaxes.com. That's smaxes.com, or you can check them out on Facebook. They have their own Facebook page. Go over there, give them a like, show them some love. Ready for trivia?
Oh, yes.
All right, I went first last episode, so you're going first this episode.
Okay. So mine's what is a Ponzi scheme?
Ponzi
No, I'm kidding. That's not my question.
I'm pretty sure are they? I cannot talk. Is that the same thing as a pyramid scheme?
No, it's different things.
What's a Ponzi scheme?
Ponzi scheme is basically you have like a false investment company, and you just get investors to give you their money.
And then you just take the money?
No, you give money back. You give money that they gave you back as a return, so it looks like their investments are doing well, but really you're just taking the money and putting it into your bank account.
So how are they? Oh, okay.
And then you just keep doing that to different people.
Funny tangent.
Okay.
Real quick.
Okay. Non-basketball related?
Non-basketball at all.
Okay.
I was listening to the TMG podcast. By the way, if you don't listen to that, Cody Ko, Noel Miller, my two absolute favorite YouTubers. Go listen to it. In my opinion, the best podcast, higher than Joe Rogan. Okay?
Higher than Joe Rogan.
They were talking about this woman, and she, Bitcoin, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back when Bitcoin first started getting, really big, there were a lot of these people trying to, mimic it, make their own, stuff like that. Well, there's this one woman, don't remember her name. I think it was called Lifecoin, okay? So, basically, she would go all around the country and just talk to people who were interested, in these big seminars. And so people would buy it, and you could buy packages. That's the only way you could buy it. So you go on the website, buy a package, and you get a certain percent or a certain number of Lifecoin. And she was basically marketing it as the same thing as Bitcoin, but easier for the day-to-day person. Okay?
Okay.
So the thing is, though, I think it was held in Belgium or something like that. That's where the headquarters was. So she had literally had someone. So people would buy it, and you could check on the website. It would tell you how much it was worth for that day, just like Bitcoin. And there was just a dude just typing in a number for what it was worth. And so there were people literally funneling in, they put in $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, their entire life savings.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on the website and see, oh my gosh, I have $500,000 worth right now. I don't know how people weren't but you couldn't sell it yet for some reason. They were we're working on being able to sell it. You know what I mean? So for the longest time, years and years, and it amassed over $1 billion worth of money that this woman had from people giving her money.
Mm-hmm. And
then she got called out. She made her head assistant the lead of the company, head of the company, and then she just disappeared. And then he got arrested. I know that was a long tangent, but
that was 2 minutes.
Okay, we're fine then. I just wanted to. That blew my mind. But go ahead with your.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead with your trivia question.
Finance can be kind of interesting.
We might make a second podcast about finance.
Let's not do that.
Go ahead with your trivia question.
Okay, so trivia question. All right. Who signed a college letter of intent in 2001 but then decided to go straight to the pros?
What year?
2001. The year.
College intent letter.
He's a meme, so.
He's a meme?
Mm-hmm. Played with Jordan and Kobe.
Oh, Kwame Brown.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, I guess is it committing to a college? And then he was like, nah, pros. But he did go. He went 1, didn't he? He was the first pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, he went 1. Okay, you ready for yours?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Bring it on.
You're not going to get this. I might ask you a second one because this one's actually pretty hard. It's a nickname one.
Okay.
I don't know how well you know nicknames.
Big nickname guy.
Okay. I have a backup if you can't get this, okay?
Okay.
Which former NBA player went by the nickname Chocolate Thunder?
Daryl Dawkins.
What? I'm surprised you got that. I didn't know that.
That was... My dad liked Daryl Dawkins a lot, so...
Your dad just walking around. Chocolate Thunder.
No, but he just told me about that before, so...
Okay, can I ask you another question just because I really want to get it off, and I don't know if you'll get this.
Okay.
In 2015, who broke the record for most points in a single quarter?
Most points in a single quarter?
In a single quarter.
Is it Klay Thompson?
It is Klay Thompson. Who previously held the record?
I have no idea.
Come on. He came out and said he didn't think it counted because in his time, he didn't have a three-pointer. Played for the Spurs. Come on.
That didn't help me.
Starts with a G.
Oh, is it George Gervin?
George Gervin.
I didn't know George Gervin played when they didn't have a three-point line.
Yeah, in the 70s.
I thought Gervin played in, like, the 80s and 90s.
He played in the 70s before it came out.
Okay.
That's when he broke it, at least. All right, so like we said, we're going to be talking about the misconception of super teams. And before we get started on this, I want to give a huge, huge shout-out to Jimmy High Roller on YouTube. He's the reason we're doing this video. If you're not subscribed to him, if you don't watch him, you need to because he makes amazing videos. He basically makes what we're doing, but he makes it in like 15 to 20 minute videos. And he has, okay. So, like I said, we're talking about the misconception behind super teams. And the whole basis of this, and Tate, you can agree on this if you do. The misconception is, super teams started with the Miami Heat, or they started with the Celtics in 2008. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's when people believe that super teams started. I watched Jimmy High Roller's video, and I realized he had so many good points. And actually, because I was one of those people, I thought in 2008, that's the first super team. But the whole idea behind super teams is that you're bringing together...
Is there a hard definition for super teams?
My definition of super teams
is 3 or more all-stars?
Is 3 or more high-level star players. You have to, not a superstar, but you have to be a star player. Okay. So, 3 or more. Seems like Celtics did it first. But I believe, and so does Jimmy, Tate, you might agree, super teams have been around for the entire lifespan of the NBA. Meaning that the concept of bringing together high-level stars and to win championships has been a concept forever. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, like, for example, back in the 60s, so the Los Angeles Lakers at one time had Gail Goodrich, who was in his prime, Elgin Baylor, who is a little bit, not yet, a little bit past his, Jerry West, who was in his prime, and Wilt Chamberlain. Mm-hmm. That is 4 very high-level players. Are they all... Yeah, all Hall of Famers. So, I mean, like, you see these people that are like, the NBA... Oh, the NBA used to be balanced. You know what I mean? But I think where this came from... Because, like, would you agree that the 95 Bulls were a super team?
Maybe. I feel like that teeters on the line. Because I feel like if Dennis Rodman did more than rebound and defense, if he was a better offensive player, it could be.
What did Draymond do though?
I mean, I don't know, dude.
Okay,
but when it was Steph Curry and Draymond, when it was just them, Draymond could shoot a little bit, and he did a little bit more on the offensive end before Kevin Durant came in there.
Okay, I respect that.
And so the thing, I agree with you that super teams have been around for the entirety of the history of the NBA. As I just said, a whole twice. But with like the Celtics, with Bill Russell winning 11 championships,
and they had like 11 Hall of Famers on that team.
But I think part of the misconception is people that are our age group don't think about that when talking about it.
No.
Even in the 80s, it was similar to what the Cavs and the Warriors have done. The Lakers and the Celtics played every other year. And that's just the way it was. And then the 90s was the Bulls. And then the 2000s was, I don't know, the Spurs. maybe
2000s Lakers, Spurs.
Lakers, Spurs ish, and then the Celtics came along a little bit at the
late 2000s.
And they
Early
won.
2010.
They won 2008, right?
Yep, and then went back in 2010, but lost.
And then the Heat came along.
He came along, and then it was the Warriors.
And the Warriors came along, and then right now I don't feel like we're super teamed out.
Yeah, no. But so like I think the reason this happened is because in the 2000s there wasn't really super teams. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for a good chunk. So like late 90s to like until the Celtics, there were no super teams, and so I feel like almost people forgot about bringing high level talent all to one team. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where that misconception comes from. But I don't know. It just. And it is the young fans. You know what I mean? Like, like I personally, when I started watching NBA in 2008 with the Celtics, because I saw them playing in the finals, loved it, and that's when my love for watching because I've always played basketball, but that's where my love for watching basketball started. So, I would say I'm not an average NBA fan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I think you could agree. I take this very seriously.
Yes, you do. You were the most in-depth person out of probably anyone I know personally.
But the reason for I don't know why, but like, and I always make this joke, but like, why do I have to choose something that's not going to give me a career? Like, if I learned this much about cars, I'd be set for life. I could be a mechanic. But now I just got to hope that someone one day is like, wow, you've got a lot of knowledge. Come work for me.
Got a lot of knowledge.
Hey,
maybe Ty Lopez will hire you
to like
to be his basketball guy, man. I don't know.
He only has me come over when there's NBA games to tell him fun facts.
That's he's got those bookshelves in his garage. One of them is just when he's gonna put a new one in purely for basketball books, and you're gonna read to him.
I'm gonna read to him. Yes. Like bedtime stories about NBA facts.
Yes, that's how it's gonna go.
Oh wow, noises. No, but hold up.
Hold up. What are we holding up here for?
Pacers won, by the way.
Yeet.
Okay. Yeah, we're recording this the same day as we recorded our last podcast. So we just finished talking about the
NBA's back. Woo!
Woo! All right, we need to focus.
Yeah,
sorry. Super teams. So I think another opinion that I don't quite like is I feel like with a lot of super teams, I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're as harmful as people say they are.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Especially me, I don't think I've ever seen... Obviously, the Warriors are very different in recent years because they had 4, and they had the second greatest player in the league right now at his height. So, I don't... Go back in history, I'm sure these super teams that were in the past didn't 16-0 in the finals. Didn't sweep every single team they played. And didn't dominate like that. Kevin Durant said that was the hardest path to the finals. No, it wasn't. I'm not saying he's a cupcake, but that was a cakewalk. And it's... Sorry, I'm going to get up. I used to be a Thunder fan when I was like little.
No, listen, you can go. This is your time right now. You get it all off your chest.
I don't dislike Durant. Durant wanted to win a championship, and I respect that. But he did go the easy. He went the path less traveled. Or I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Kevin Durant went the easiest way possible, and I'm sure Jordan had problem getting past the Pistons, and then I couldn't tell you anything about the Celtics, Lakers, and stuff like that. But
I could. So let's get into this. Basically, what happened is the Celtics were terrible in the mid 2000s. Really bad team. Had nobody. And so they traded for Ray Allen, but they signed Kevin Garnett, I'm pretty sure.
And did they draft Paul Pierce?
They drafted Paul Pierce and Rondo.
I completely forgot Rondo was on that team.
What?
Yeah. not like completely forgot. Like I just didn't think about it while we were talking about it.
But I think we can agree both Kevin Garnett and especially Ray Allen. I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they were bad players. They were still peak athletes and peak, height of their careers. That's when they started, you could see the decline. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like before, Ray Allen was driving, trying to dunk on people, everything like that. He became, after that, purely kind of more of just a three-point shooter. Mm-hmm. But, so the Celtics had won I think below 30 games the previous year in 2007. And then they got a high draft pick. I say high, lottery pick. Got Rondo. Then traded for Ray Allen. Signed Kevin Garnett. And I think they had one of the biggest jumps in win differential from year to year. But go ahead. Keep going on with your rant.
Oh, no. It's not. I'm not ranting, am I?
No, get it all off the chest.
See, but when I was little, I always thought, at least, that I thought Michael Jordan won the most championships with 6. I had no idea about Bill Russell. And I remember, so, like, in high school, I used to watch SportsCenter, like, every single morning for some reason before I went to school. And I remember seeing that Bill Russell won 11, and I was like, who the hell is Bill Russell? Because it's not like my dad didn't talk about stuff like that, or my grandpa for that matter. But it's just not, it's so long ago, so it doesn't get brought up as much. And Bill Russell is clearly one of the greatest centers to ever play the game.
See, I was never very much of a sports guy. So I'm from Missouri. We have baseball and football and soccer now, but it was every, Sundays we watched the Chiefs game. During the summer we might go to a couple Royals games. We didn't have basketball. So, and with me not being around my dad at the time, he was the one who introduced me to like Kansas basketball. So Kansas basketball was the first basketball that I saw. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was because I would say even though I did mention that, I started watching basketball with the Celtics. Yeah, I started watching it, but like my mom didn't like watching basketball. So it was never on in the house. Mm-hmm. And so my first love for watching basketball was Kansas. And then once I started seeing, it was probably, I don't know. It's probably when I started playing the 2K games. That's when I
kept up with it too.
That's when I started actually like watching games, keeping up with all the box scores, watching almost every playoff game I could. So that was probably 2014, LeBron's last year in Miami. Mm-hmm. So there's a 6-year gap where like I loved basketball. I loved watching it when I could, but I didn't have the resources at the time to really just watch it. You know what I mean?
Keep up with everything
and I think that's the problem is that people don't have those like I'm the kind of person to go home from work, sit down, and just watch highlights from specific players. You know what I mean? Charles Barkley, Bill Russell, what you can find, obviously. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? Like, watching, because you're always told that these players are good. You know what I mean? Like, you're told Patrick Ewing's a top 10 center all time. I've never seen a Patrick Ewing game. How do I know that? I know he got dunked on a lot.
I've seen him hit a 3 in a 2K intro.
Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, there's just this focus on these players. That's like, I would hear a player's name, and, like a broadcaster would say a player's name. I'm like, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like, he's like the great blah, blah, blah. I'm like, the great who? Like, there's not enough, like, and these NBA commentators, coaches, they know these names because they've lived that life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I want to be a broadcaster so bad. That's my dream job, is to be an NBA broadcaster. I would love that. And I realize on the grand scheme of things, if we're talking like, obviously I know more about NBA than all of our friend group. But like compared to someone who's in that life all the time, I know jack shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, dude, we keep going on these tangents. Okay, but you were talking about Kevin Durant. So the reason I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant, and you've voiced this, is because he was going to win a championship. You know what I mean? He knew I can join this team with already great players, and we're definitely going to win championships. And, like, I feel like the only reason people had a problem with it, and this is a logical reason, okay? The only reason people had a problem with it is because he was a top player. You see, I don't know, like, if Kendrick Perkins left the Celtics, like, when he went to the Thunder, people were like, what? People weren't like, what a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know. He's got that automatic jump hook, man.
That he missed, like, 7 in a row? What do you mean? Or that video of him with the handles, and he's, like, dribbling at 1 mile an hour, taking, like, baby steps, and you're like, what are you trying to prove right now? Or, like, when Lou Will literally told him to shut the hell up on Twitter. I've been in the league 13 years, and the biggest thing you got on me is I wanted chicken wings.
So, I think, okay, so this is the biggest problem with Kevin Durant. I think that's where it comes from, is Kevin Durant, is the root of all this hatred towards super teams, in my opinion.
I think LeBron is.
No. Because LeBron had interest. I mean, LeBron, obviously, they didn't do anything for him in Cleveland.
No.
They were not in the same situation.
Well, hold on.
Okay,
I have opinions about this.
Okay, well let me finish here real quick, and then. Okay, here's my thing. LeBron went to the Heat, and they had Dwayne Wade and then Chris Bosh, and they had Chalmers and a few other players. LeBron didn't cakewalk his way to the finals. They went to at least 5 in every series that I remember. I don't remember LeBron ever sweeping anybody. I'm sure it happened.
The Charlotte Bobcats.
Oh, my bad. The Bobcats made the playoffs one year with Kimba, probably.
And I can't remember his name. White dude, long hair, Jacob something, I think. Go ahead.
White dude, long hair. Kelly Olynyk.
No.
But what I'm saying is LeBron...
Jacob McRoberts. There we go.
LeBron left because the Cleveland organization didn't do anything for him. They did not build a team around him properly or draft people or get free agents. I mean, obviously, it's a small market town. Not a lot of free agents going to want to come play in Cleveland. So he went to a high market town, and he played. Obviously, his team was good, and they were probably the best team in the league. But I can clearly remember them going to 7 with the Pacers 2 years in a row. And that was the most entertaining stuff. And then they at least went to 6 almost every year. I remember LeBron going in the finals, except for the year they went 5 against the first year the Thunder went.
Okay.
And the problem with the Thunder is the Thunder were a much better team, and then they got 3-1 by the Warriors in the conference finals. And then Durant was like, "Nah, I'm out."
So can I bump in real quick?
You can counter me. I'm done.
Please tell me what the Thunder did for Kevin Durant during his time with the team.
I mean, they had Westbrook, Harden,
okay,
Serge, Perkins. They had a much better team.
Here is my argument. Every star player that the Thunder had was drafted by the team. Okay? And what I mean there is, it is your job as a team to not just draft good players, is to bring in good players. The Thunder never did that. The Thunder never brought in solid players. They traded James Harden for Jeremy Lamb, dude.
But also, do you think... Okay, this is going to counter what I'm saying, but do you think James Harden... They wouldn't have been able to keep that team together?
Yes, they would have.
No.
Yes, they would.
No, they couldn't. They could not give Westbrook, Harden, and Durant the amount of money each of them would have wanted and keep them together.
Kevin Durant took a pay cut to be on the Warriors. You're saying he wouldn't have done that for the Thunder?
Correct.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think Westbrook also would have taken a pay cut.
Nah.
Yes.
No.
No, listen. So...
I'm listening.
The Thunder refused to sign a player in James Harden, who was the 6th man of the year, was progressing every single year, was one of, besides Durant, one of the better scorers on the team. They refused to do that. They refused to do anything for Durant his entire time there.
But what I'm saying is where the super team hatred comes from is it feels like it comes from Kevin Durant, and people don't like Kevin Durant for... It felt like he quit on his team. And I don't think it was the same way with LeBron. Obviously, people in their respective cities are going to be upset if their top player leaves. But it just feels like Kevin Durant was like, "No, we didn't get it We almost had it. We didn't get it. So time to go to the best team in the league and make them even better. And walk over.
I'm not going to lie, dude. I would do the same thing. My team's not winning. I've been here since 2007. We've made it to the finals once. It's time for a change, man.
Nah.
So do you think people would have cared if he went to the Wizards? Because that was a big team that he might have gone to.
Well, that's his hometown, too. So that would have been different. I feel like that would have been different. And he would have spiced up the East a little bit.
All right, what about the Celtics?
I don't know. I'm just saying that it felt like they were 3-1, and they lost to the Warriors, and then he went and joins that team that beat him. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me say this. If they would have lost in the first round, do you think it would have been that big of a deal?
No.
Why?
Because they wouldn't have lost to the Warriors. They wouldn't have lost to the team he joined.
No. My point is, if they would have played the Thunder in the first round
and got 3-1,
and
they did the same exact stuff and did in the first round.
I
still think it would have been the same deal.
Okay.
It's not because he left the Thunder. It's because of the team he joined. He joined a 73-9 team. He joined the best team in the history of basketball, in my opinion. Maybe not ever, but record-wise is what I was saying.
Okay.
And he got 2 easy championships.
Yeah. Good for him.
That's a bitch move.
No, it's not. It's a
is.
business move. It doesn't matter that it was the best team in the NBA. Would you not want to join the best team in the NBA?
Maybe. I don't know if I'm like that, though. I don't like being given things.
Basketball isn't about loyalty. It's about winning.
I know that.
So the reason I'm on Kevin Durant's side is because there's so many people that downplay people like Allen Iverson and like Charles Barkley because they didn't win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win championships. Kevin Durant knew if he stayed with the Thunder, he wasn't going to win championships. Because, and I've said this before, 2015, when Kevin Durant got hurt for most of the season and Russell Westbrook got a taste of having his own team, that ruined Russell Westbrook as a player. For me, at least. That made him... I think Russell Westbrook is a selfish player. That's my opinion.
Well, if you watch there's a video out there, I can't remember who made it, but it's called the Westbrook Effect. And basically, it's every player that's played with him has gotten better after he's left. So, Oladipo, Durant, Paul George.
Look at
Sabonis.
There was one stat that came out that, when...
Harden.
What was it? The difference... So, when he was on the Thunder still,
Mm-hmm.
Steven Adams had, 8-9 rebounds a game. This year, after he left, Steven Adams has gone up in rebounds per game. And the top rebounder on the Thunder went down. Now, I'm not obviously that's going to happen for someone who's a good rebounder, but you can't tell me Westbrook doesn't go into the locker room, hey, man, let me get rebounds.
Oh, yeah, he definitely does. He was a stat patter the 2 years that he averaged a triple-double.
He definitely was.
Not to say that Westbrook, whatever, but you can watch videos of Westbrook literally running from the three-point line with, literally Sabonis or Steven Adams standing there waiting for a rebound when everybody else has run up the court, and he'll run in and jump up and steal it from him.
Or they'll just back up.
Yeah, they'll just back up and let him get it because, I don't know.
It's because Steven Adams is too nice.
He's a nice New Zealand man.
Nice New Zealand. Aquaman.
Yes.
Keep going. No, keep going.
I forgot what I was going to say. You can go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you had any final thoughts about super teams in general. Just not Kevin Durant specifically, not LeBron, just as a whole. Well, because I haven't asked you, because I told you I don't think they're that harmful. Do you think super teams to the NBA are toxic or harmful as a whole?
No, they're good for them, except the Warriors. Here's the reason why, at least in my opinion. The NBA, obviously right now the ratings are going to be really good because sports are back and people want to watch them. The NBA ratings suck. Nobody watches primetime NBA games on TV until the playoffs happen. That is when most people start watching the NBA, is when the playoffs happen, and they keep up with the playoffs. So to get a team like that, because I remember when Durant signed with them, this is personal experience, so I can't speak for everyone. Durant signed with them, and I went, oh yeah, they're going to win a championship. The day he signed. So, what is the point of keeping up with it if you know what's going to happen? It didn't make the league more entertaining. I think that's why this year has been some of the most entertaining basketball ever that I've watched. Because the league is so mixed up. There's so many people on different teams. There's so many different teams that can do something. It's not the Warriors and LeBron are going to go to the finals and play for the 4th year in a row.
This is my final thought on this.
Okay. And we'll shake hands after this.
No, it will. No. This is what I want for this. Is us to disagree. That's what makes this entertaining. So I will agree with you on your last point about it's not as fun if you know who's going to win. But you can't lie. That's why I don't think I'll agree with you. I don't think super teams are harmful, but it can be too much. And you said yourself it's because it was 4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'll say. When you hear, like when we heard that Paul George was going to the Clippers, that Kawhi was going to the Clippers, we got excited. You know what I mean? When we heard AD was going to play with LeBron, we got excited. It's that duo aspect when you're like, oh, how are they going to play together? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think most people think when you add that third player, it's almost like every team usually has two really good defenders, and I mean really good. You know what I mean?
You mean players or
players?
Okay.
So like for example, the Clippers have Kawhi and Paul George.
The Lakers have LeBron, AD.
Yeah, and I'm talking about just defenders. So when you have it's very rare that a team has 3 just like lockdown defenders.
Like the Bulls back in the day, not like now.
Yeah, like the Bulls or the Pistons. Pistons were the same way. They were a defensive team. So I think people think once you get that third player, it's like, well, that's not very fair. You know what I mean? And it's a part of saltiness. It's bias. So like if you're a Celtics fan
and someone signs with the Lakers,
you should be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're a Celtics fan and they got Kevin Durant, you're gonna be like, oh, we don't care that we have 3-4 superstars.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna win championships. You know what I mean?
That was a big thing when Kawhi ended, or the season after the Raptors won, was Kawhi to the Lakers was a very, very big talk. And if Kawhi went to the Lakers, I would not be keeping up with basketball right now, because the Lakers would have won the championship.
See, like
without a doubt in my mind.
I want to make one more point, and I know I said that was my last point, but do you find international play exciting, like Olympic basketball exciting?
Yes, some of it at least. I mean, the USA usually whoops everybody.
But it's fun to see that, isn't it?
Yes, but I'm American.
That's true. There's that American aspect. Okay, yeah. That was just a quick point. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I just wanted to get your take on that. All right. Any last points you'd like to make about super teams? Anything at all?
No. Kevin Durant's not a bad person. I don't want it to seem like I dislike Kevin Durant as a person. I just think
you dislike the move.
I think what he did was a little soft.
I can respect that. All right. Well, we thank you for listening to another episode of the FadeAway Podcast. Again, we'd like to thank Smoky Mountain Axe House for sponsoring this podcast, this episode. If you'd like to get any more information, you can go to smaxes.com. That's smaxes.com. They also have a Facebook page. You can go on there. Go ahead, like the page, show them some love, and we will catch you next week.
All right, everybody have a good one.